I have a question for you. Have you ever tried to speak English but your brain feels slow? You know the words in your language, but in English, they just don't come out fast enough. If yes, you are in the right place. Today we will start a journey to help you think faster and speak better in English. No more long pauses, no more feeling stuck, just smooth, confident English flowing from your mouth. Imagine this. You meet someone new. They smile and say, "Hi, how are you?" Instead of freezing, you answer quickly with a big smile. "I'm great, thanks. How about you?" And they keep talking to you because you sound confident. Wouldn't that feel amazing? That's what we're going to learn together in this lesson. I'm not going to give you boring grammar rules. I'm going to give you real tips you can use today. So stay until the end, because every chapter will give you a new secret to speed up your English thinking. Are you ready? Let's go. The first step to think fast in English is to stop translating in your head. Many beginners make this mistake. You hear something in English, and your brain tries to change it into your own language. Then you think of your answer in your language and translate it back into English. This takes a lot of time. That's why your brain feels slow. So instead, you must train your brain to connect English words directly to meaning. No middle step. Just English room meaning. Let's try a small practice. I will say a word, and you will imagine it in your mind without translating. Ready? Apple. Did you see a red or green fruit in your mind? Good. That is the goal. No translation. Just the image. Let's try more. Chair. Rain. Smile. When you do this every day, your brain starts to think faster in English. Another tip is to listen to English every day, even if you don't understand everything. Your brain will start to notice common words and patterns. For example, if you hear "how are you" many times, your brain will automatically know the meaning without thinking. It becomes natural. This is why babies learn to speak without studying grammar. They listen a lot. Do you listen to English every day? Tell me in the comments how you practice listening now. Now let's talk about speaking speed. Many beginners are afraid to make mistakes, so they speak very slowly. But here's the truth. Mistakes are part of learning. If you wait until your English is perfect, you will never speak. Instead, speak with the words you know. Even if your grammar is not 100% correct, people will understand you. Here's a fun challenge. Every morning, look in the mirror and speak in English for 1 minute. Talk about your plans for the day. Example: today I will go to the market. I will buy apples. I will meet my friend. I will cook dinner. Simple words, no pressure. Just speak. If you do this every day, your speaking speed will improve. Another powerful exercise is shadowing. This means listening to a short piece of English audio and speaking at the same time as the speaker. It feels strange at first, but it trains your brain to think and speak fast. You can use movies, YouTube videos, or podcasts for this. Just pick something short, listen, and copy. Even if you don't understand every word, your mouth and brain will learn the rhythm of English. Also, don't forget body language. When you speak with confidence, head up, eyes looking forward, smiling, your brain feels more confident too. This makes your words come faster. So next time you practice, stand tall and speak with energy. Finally, remember this. English is not something you study for a test. It is a tool for connection. Every time you speak, you are connecting with another person. And the more you connect, the more natural your English becomes. In the next chapter, we will talk about how to train your brain to answer questions fast in English without feeling nervous. But before we move on, I want you to comment below. What is the biggest problem for you when speaking English? Thinking of words or feeling shy? Chapter 2. Answer questions like a pro. When someone asks you a question in English, you have only a few seconds to answer. If you wait too long, the conversation feels awkward. So how can you answer quickly and still sound natural? The secret is simple. Prepare common answers before you need them. Think about the questions people ask every day. How are you? What's your name? Where are you from? What do you do? These are small questions, but they start conversations. If you already know how you will answer, you don't need to think. Your brain will just send the words to your mouth. For example, if someone asks, "How are you?" you can answer, "I'm great, thanks. How about you?" Practice saying these sentences many times until they feel automatic. The goal is to make your answers come without thinking, just like a reflex. Another way to think faster is to use short sentences first. Many beginners try to make long, complicated answers, but this takes too much time. Start short, then add more if you want. For example, if someone asks, "What do you do?" Then if you feel comfortable, add more. "I'm a student at City College. I study computer science. Do you see the trick?" Short answer first, then extra detail if your brain is ready. Here's a quick game you can play alone or with a friend. Write down 10 common questions in English, then set a timer for 1 minute. Read each question and answer it fast. No pausing, no thinking too much. If you don't know the perfect answer, just say something simple. This trains your brain to respond without delay. Listening practice also helps you answer faster. When you listen to conversations, notice how native speakers answer questions. They often use simple, direct words. For example, "Do you like coffee?" "Yes, I love it." Or "No, not really." You don't need a long speech. Short and clear is better. One problem for many beginners is translating the question. If someone asks, "What's your favorite food?" and you try to translate it to your language, you lose time. Instead, train your brain to understand the meaning instantly. When you hear favorite food, your brain should go straight to pizza, chicken, pasta, or whatever you like. No translation step. Here's an exercise. Take one question, like "What's your favorite color?" and answer it 5 different ways in English. Example: 1. Blue. 2. Blue, because it's calm. 3. I like blue. It feels peaceful. 4. My favorite is blue. It reminds me of the sea. 5. Definitely blue. It's beautiful. This way, you have many answers ready, so you never get stuck. Another tip is to practice with speed drills. Find a friend and ask each other random questions as fast as possible. Don't give time to think. Just answer with the first idea in your mind. At first, you might say funny or strange things. That's okay. The goal is speed, not perfection. Later, you can improve your sentences. Also, remember that you can buy time in conversations. If you don't know what to say, use small phrases to give your brain a second to think. For example, "Well, let me see. That's a good question." These short phrases sound natural and give you 1 or 2 seconds to prepare your answer. One last secret: confidence comes from practice, not from waiting. Many learners think, "I will speak when I feel ready." But the truth is, you feel ready after you start speaking, not before. The more you answer questions, the faster your brain works in English. In the next chapter, we will talk about how to keep your mind in English all day so you can think faster without even trying. But before that, tell me in the comments, what is the hardest question for you to answer in English? Chapter 3. Live inside English. If you want to think fast in English, you can't just study for 1 hour and forget it for the rest of the day. Your brain needs to stay in English as much as possible. This doesn't mean you must live in an English-speaking country. It means you can create an English world around you, wherever you are. First, start with your phone. Change the language to English. At first, it might feel strange, but soon you'll learn new words without even studying. Every time you open your phone, you'll see English words, settings, messages, calendar. Your brain will slowly accept English as normal. Next, think about the objects in your home. As you walk around, name them in English in your head. For example, door, table, cup, mirror. If you don't know a word, look it up once and remember it. This is a small habit, but it makes your brain connect English words to real things, not to your own language. Another way to live in English is to talk to yourself. Yes, really, you don't need another person to practice speaking. When you're alone, describe what you are doing in English. For example, I am making tea. I'm pouring hot water. I'm adding sugar. It sounds simple, but it trains your brain to create sentences quickly. And the more you do it, the faster you speak. Music is another great tool. Listen to English songs you like, even if you don't understand every word. Try to catch familiar words. You can also sing along. This improves pronunciation and rhythm. The key is to keep English sounds in your ears all day. You can also follow English-speaking YouTubers or podcasts on topics you enjoy. If you like cooking, watch recipes in English. If you like games, watch gaming videos in English. Learning is easier when you enjoy the topic, and if you listen every day, your brain will automatically store common phrases and patterns. Reading in English is powerful too. Start small, maybe short stories, simple news or social media posts. Even reading 5 minutes a day helps. When you read, try not to translate every word. Focus on understanding the general meaning. This helps you think in English without stopping for every small detail. Another important habit is to write in English every day. Keep a small notebook or use your phone. Write a few sentences about your day. Example: today I woke up early. I went for a walk. I saw a cat. This helps you remember words and create sentences faster. You can also set small English moments in your day. For example, morning, watch a short English video. Afternoon, talk to yourself in English for 2 minutes. Evening, write 3 sentences about your day. Night, listen to an English song before sleeping. This way, English becomes part of your daily life, not just a subject you study. One more thing, when you think in English, don't worry about perfect grammar. Babies don't think about grammar when they learn to speak. They focus on meaning first. Then grammar improves naturally. If you wait for perfect grammar before speaking, you will never speak fast. The goal is to make English your second nature. You wake up and hear English. You think in English during the day. You hear English before you sleep. The more your brain is surrounded by English, the faster it will respond when you need to speak. In the next chapter, we will learn how to train your brain for quick reactions in real conversations, so you can answer instantly without panic. But before we go there, tell me in the comments, how many minutes a day do you spend thinking in English? Chapter 4. Train your brain for quick reactions. When you talk to someone in English, you don't have much time to think. Conversations move fast. If you wait too long, the other person may change the topic, and you miss your chance to speak. So, how do you train your brain to react quickly? The answer is practice, but the right kind of practice. First, you must accept that speed comes before perfection. If you always stop to check grammar in your head, you will lose speed. Quick answers are often short and simple. For example, do you like ice cream? Yes, I love it. Have you been to London? No, not yet. Fast, clear, and direct. You can always add more detail later if needed. A good exercise is called quick fire practice. Set a timer for 1 minute. Ask yourself a question in English and answer as fast as you can. Then immediately ask another question and answer. Keep going for the full minute without stopping. At first, your answers may be slow or strange, but after a few days, your speed will improve. Another great method is reaction shadowing. Watch an English interview or talk show. When the interviewer asks a question, pause the video before the guest answers. Then quickly give your own answer in English. Don't think too long. Just say the first thing that comes to your mind. This simulates real-life speed. You can also use conversation fillers to buy yourself time without sounding silent. Phrases like, well, let me think, or that's interesting. Give your brain 2 or 3 seconds to prepare the real answer. Native speakers do this all the time, and here's something many learners don't realize. Body movement helps your brain think faster. If you stand up, Use your hands and speak with energy. Your words flow more easily. Sitting still and tense makes your brain slow. So practice speaking while walking around your room or gesturing with your hands. You'll notice the difference. Games can also train your reaction speed. One simple game is word ping pong. If you have a practice partner, one person says a word, and the other must answer instantly with a related word. For example, A dog, B bone, A sun, B hot. You can do this alone too. Just give yourself a word and say the first thing that comes to mind in English. This helps your brain connect ideas quickly. Another thing to remember is that you don't always need a perfect sentence. Sometimes one word is enough. If someone asks, "What's your favorite sport?" you can just say football, and then smile. If they want more, they will ask. This removes pressure and keeps the conversation moving. Also, don't fear mistakes. If you try to avoid mistakes, you will speak less. But if you accept mistakes as part of the process, you will speak more, and more speaking means more speed. Think of mistakes as training points for your brain. Here's a powerful mindset tip. In conversations, focus on the message, not the grammar. Your goal is to share your idea quickly. The person you are talking to will care more about understanding you than about your grammar being perfect. Finally, practice speaking English in unexpected situations. Talk to a shopkeeper in English. Greet a stranger in English. Order food in English if possible. Real-life situations push your brain to react fast because you don't have time to prepare. In the next chapter, we will talk about how to think in English even when you're nervous, so you can stay calm and speak clearly in any situation. But before we go on, tell me in the comments, do you think speed is more important than grammar for speaking English? Chapter 5. Stay calm, speak fast. Nervousness is one of the biggest enemies of fast thinking in English. You might know the words, you might have practiced many times, but when you feel nervous, your brain suddenly becomes blank. You forget what to say. This is normal. It happens to almost everyone learning a new language. The good news is, you can train your mind to stay calm and think clearly. The first step is to control your breathing. When you are nervous, you breathe faster and shallower. This sends a signal to your brain that something is wrong, making you more nervous. So before speaking, take a deep breath in, hold for 2 seconds, and breathe out slowly. Do this 2 or 3 times. It tells your brain, it's okay, I'm safe. Next, use simple sentences when you feel nervous. Many learners try to say long, complex things, and this increases stress. In nervous situations, short is better. For example, instead of, "Well, I have been interested in photography since I was a child because my father gave me a camera and I found it very enjoyable," say, "I like photography. My father gave me a camera when I was a child." Clear, short, and easy to say, even when your hands are shaking. Another powerful tool is positive self-talk. Before speaking, tell yourself, "I can do this. It's okay to make mistakes. I just need to share my idea." It may sound silly, but it works. Your brain listens to your own words. Also focus on the listener, not yourself. Nervousness grows when you think about how you look, how you sound, and whether your grammar is correct. Instead, pay attention to the person you are talking to. Look at their eyes, listen to their words. This takes your mind away from fear and puts it into the conversation. Practice low-pressure speaking often. Talk to your pet in English. Speak to the mirror. Call a friend who is also learning. When you practice in safe situations, your brain learns that speaking English is not dangerous. Then when you face real situations, you feel calmer. Another trick is to prepare default answers for common questions. If someone asks, "What do you do?" and you have already practiced saying, "I'm a student. I study engineering," you will feel more confident because you know exactly what to say. Nervousness often comes from not knowing your first words. It's also important to forgive yourself quickly if you make a mistake. Many learners freeze after making one small error. Instead, keep talking. Native speakers make small mistakes all the time and just continue. Body language can also reduce nervousness. Stand or sit tall, shoulders back, and smile. Even if you don't feel confident, acting confident sends a message to your brain that you are in control. And the funny thing is, this actually makes you feel more confident. Finally, remember that nervousness will never completely disappear, but it will get smaller each time you speak. Think of nervousness like a shadow. At first it feels big, but as you walk forward it becomes smaller and smaller until you hardly notice it. In the next chapter, we will talk about how to keep improving your thinking speed every day so you get faster and faster with time. But before we move on, tell me in the comments, what makes you most nervous when speaking English? Chapter 6. Keep getting faster every day. Thinking fast in English is not something you achieve once and then forget about. It's like exercise. If you stop, your skills will slowly get weaker. The good news is, if you keep practicing a little every day, you will get faster and faster without even noticing. So how do you make sure your brain stays sharp and quick in English? You build daily habits that keep your mind in training. First, make English a daily routine, not a random activity. Just like brushing your teeth, you should have small English moments in your day. For example, you can spend 5 minutes in the morning listening to an English podcast, 2 minutes in the afternoon speaking to yourself, and 5 minutes before bed reading something in English. Small regular practice is better than one long session once a week. Second, push yourself out of your comfort zone. If you always talk about the same topics, your brain will only be fast in those topics. Challenge yourself to talk about new subjects. If you usually talk about food, try talking about travel. If you always describe your daily life, try explaining a news story. This makes your brain work harder and learn faster. Another great way to keep improving is speed review. Every week, take a few minutes to answer common questions as fast as possible. Record yourself and compare your speed to the last week. You will see small improvements, and this will motivate you to keep going. Also, remember to mix your practice types. Sometimes listen, sometimes read, sometimes write, and sometimes speak. Each skill helps the other. Listening gives you new words and patterns. Reading builds your vocabulary. Writing helps you organize thoughts. Speaking connects them all together. You can also use technology to help. There are many apps where you can speak to AI chatbots in English. You can also find language exchange partners online. Even sending voice messages to a friend in English is a great way to keep your speaking muscles active. One important thing is to celebrate small wins. Did you answer a question faster than before? Did you join a conversation without fear? Did you understand a joke in English? These are signs of progress. Smile, feel proud, and keep going. Motivation grows when you notice your success. Another tip is to connect English with your real life. If you cook, learn English words for your ingredients. If you like sports, follow sports news in English. When English is connected to something you love, it sticks in your brain more easily, and you practice without feeling like it's work. Finally, never stop being curious. Always ask yourself, how would I say this in English? When you see something new, find the English word for it. When you hear a phrase you don't know, write it down and practice it later. Curiosity keeps your learning alive and makes your brain faster every day. Remember, thinking fast and speaking better is not about talent, it's about practice, patience, and persistence. If you keep English in your daily life, keep challenging yourself, and keep enjoying the process, you will not only think faster, you will speak with confidence, clarity, and joy. So now, friends, your journey doesn't end here. This lesson is the starting point. From today, I want you to make English a living part of your day. Talk, listen, read, and think in English as much as possible. And most importantly, don't be afraid to speak. The more you speak, the faster your mind will become. And before you go, tell me in the comments, After watching this lesson, what is the first thing you will do today to start thinking faster in English? My name is Isabella, and today something important is going to happen in my life. I wake up early, and my phone is already full of messages from my mother. She writes, "Remember the big party tomorrow. Many people will be there. Be ready." I look at the message and feel tired. This happens every time. My parents have money, hotels, and power, but they do not have peace. They think money can make people happy, but I do not believe that. They want me to marry a rich man named Ethan. They say he is perfect, but I don't even like him. He only talks about himself and his money. My parents call it a good opportunity. I call it a plan without love. I want to marry for love, not for business. I want a simple life. I want someone who listens, who smiles, and who stays when life is hard. But my parents don't understand that. They just say, "You will thank us later." I close my phone and take a deep breath. I feel angry and sad. Then I have an idea, a crazy idea, something different, something brave. If they want to control my life, maybe I can surprise them this time. I decide to find someone who can help me, someone unexpected. I walk to the park near my house. The air feels quiet and free. Many people walk fast. Some talk on the phone. Some just look tired. And I see a man sitting near the fountain. His clothes are dirty. He looks poor but calm. He's not asking for money. He just sits. I stop and watch him for a moment. He looks peaceful, not angry or sad. Something about him feels honest, like he is not pretending to be anyone. I walk closer, and he looks at me. Our eyes meet for a second. My heart beats fast, but I do not feel afraid. I feel curious. I think, maybe he can help me. Maybe this is my chance to change. I walk a little closer and take a deep breath before I speak. I say, "Excuse me. I need your help tomorrow night. Please listen to me." He looks surprised. He says nothing, waiting for me to explain more. Then I say, "I will pay you if you pretend to be my boyfriend tomorrow." He blinks, confused. The sound of the fountain feels louder. Everything stops for a moment. He finally smiles a little and says, "You're serious, aren't you?" Question: Would you help a stranger who asks you to be their fake boyfriend for one night? He looks at me and laughs a little, like he thinks I am joking. I say, "I am serious. I just need one night, one party, please." He stops laughing. He looks at me again, this time with real curiosity. "You want me to pretend to be your boyfriend? But why me?" he asks. I smile and say, "Because you don't know my world. You are real." He looks down for a moment, thinking. Then he slowly nods his head. "Okay," he says softly. "If you are sure, I can do it." My heart jumps. I can't believe he said yes. I thank him immediately. I tell him the plan, the time, the place, and what he needs to do. He listens carefully, without interrupting. He asks only one question. "What should I wear?" I smile and say, "Don't worry. I'll take care of that part." The next day, I send my driver to bring him to my house. When he arrives, my employees look shocked. They whisper, "Who is that man?" I tell them, "He is my guest. Please help him. Haircut, clean clothes, everything." They follow my orders, but I can see confusion in their faces. They probably think I've lost my mind. But for the first time, I feel calm. While they help him, I stay in my room, waiting and thinking about tonight. I keep asking myself, why am I doing this? What will my parents say? But deep inside, I know I need to do it, to feel free once. At 7 o'clock, I hear a knock on my door. My heart beats faster. I open it slowly, and I almost don't recognize him. He looks clean, confident, and completely different, but his eyes are still kind. He smiles and says, "Is this good enough for a fake boyfriend?" I laugh for the first time that day. "Perfect," I say softly. We drive to the party together. The road feels longer than usual. He looks out the window, quiet but calm. I feel safe beside him. When we arrive, all eyes turn to us. The music stops for a second. My parents look shocked. Ethan, the rich man, looks angry and confused. My mother says in a cold voice, "Isabella, who is this man?" I take a deep breath and say, "He is my boyfriend. His name is Daniel." The people around us start whispering. Some laugh quietly. Some look uncomfortable. But Daniel stays calm. He shakes my father's hand and says, "Nice to meet you." My father doesn't answer. He just watches Daniel with hard, cold eyes. The silence feels heavy, but Daniel doesn't move. He stands strong beside me. Then something unexpected happens. Ethan walks closer with a proud smile. He says, "So, this is your boyfriend?" He looks different from your usual friends. I can feel the anger growing inside me, but Daniel speaks before I do. He looks at Ethan and says quietly, "Maybe I don't have money, but I have respect." Everyone goes silent. For a moment, no one knows what to say. My heart fills with pride. For the first time, someone defends me with truth. Ethan's smile disappears, and my parents look shocked. Something inside me begins to change forever. Question: if you were Isabella, would you keep pretending or tell everyone the real story? After Daniel speaks, the room becomes very quiet. Everyone is looking at him now. My father clears his throat and says, "Dinner is ready. Let's sit." We walk to the big table. My parents sit in silence, watching every move. Daniel sits beside me. He eats slowly, politely, and says thank you to everyone. The people at the table look at him with surprise. He speaks with simple, kind words. He doesn't try to impress anyone. He just stays calm and respectful. Somehow, that makes everyone listen to him even more. I watch him and feel something strange inside me. Peace. For the first time in years, I am not pretending to be perfect. After dinner, people move to the dance floor. The music starts again. Daniel stands up and looks at me. "May I have this dance?" he asks. I laugh a little and say, "You don't have to do this." He smiles and says, "I know, but I want to." We walk to the center. People whisper, some smile, some look angry. Daniel holds my hand carefully. We start dancing slowly. At first, I feel nervous, but then I start to relax. He looks into my eyes and says quietly, "You are brave, Isabella." I almost forget that this is supposed to be fake. When the song ends, people actually clap. I can't believe it. Even my mother smiles a little, trying to hide her surprise. For a few moments, everything feels normal, happy, peaceful, real. But then Ethan walks closer again. His face looks angry. He says, "You think this poor man can replace me? You're making a joke, Isabella." Daniel stays calm. He says, "I'm not trying to replace anyone. I just respect her choice." My father suddenly says, "Enough. Isabella, come with me." We walk to the garden behind the house where no one can hear us. He says, "This game ends tonight. You will not embarrass our family again." I take a deep breath. My hands are shaking, but I don't look away. I say, "This is not a game, Father. I just want to live my own life." He looks shocked. He has never heard me talk like this before. Then Daniel appears behind us. He says quietly, "Sir, please let her speak." My father looks at him with anger. "You don't belong here," he says coldly. Daniel answers calmly, "Maybe not. But tonight I was invited by your daughter." For a moment, no one talks. Even the night feels silent. My father walks away without another word. I turn to Daniel and say softly, "Thank you. You didn't have to do that." He smiles a little. "Sometimes doing the right thing is not easy," he says. We stand in silence, looking at the lights from the party inside. Something inside me feels new, like I am finally free to be myself. Daniel looks at me and says, "There's something you don't know about me." Question: what do you think Daniel is hiding? Would you still trust him after tonight? When Daniel says those words, I stop breathing for a second. His eyes look calm but serious. I can tell something important is coming. He says, "I wasn't always poor, Isabella. My life was very different before." I look at him, confused. "What do you mean?" I ask quietly. He sighs and looks away for a moment before speaking again. "I used to have everything: money, car, a big house, and a company." My mouth opens a little. I can't believe what I just heard. He continues, "But I left everything 1 year ago. I wanted to see real life." I ask, "Why would you do that? Why live like this on the street?" He smiles softly. "Because I wanted to understand people. I wanted to find honesty." His voice sounds calm. I can feel the truth in his words. He says, "When you met me, you didn't ask who I was, you just talked." I stay quiet. My heart feels warm and strange at the same time. He looks at me and says, "That's why I agreed to help you." The music from the party is still playing inside the house. But out here, in the garden, everything feels different, simple and real. I finally ask, "So, who are you really?" He takes a deep breath and answers, "My name is Alexander Blake." The name sounds familiar. I've heard it in business news before. He says, "My family owns a large company in the city." I cover my mouth in shock. You're Alexander Blake?" He nods slowly. "Yes, but for 1 year I lived without money or name." He explains that he wanted to see if people could love him for who he is. Not for his company, not for his last name, just for his heart. I don't know what to say. My eyes fill with tears. I finally whisper, "So all this time you were testing me." He shakes his head. No, I was testing myself. The wind feels cold, but my heart feels warm. He steps closer and says, "You were the first person who really saw me." I don't move. I just listen to his quiet voice and kind eyes. He says, "I'm not asking you to love me. I just wanted you to know." For a moment, everything around us disappears. The music, the lights, the party. It's only him and me, standing there in the garden under the stars. Then suddenly, I hear my father's voice calling from the house. "Isabella, where are you? Come back inside right now." I look at Daniel, or Alexander, not knowing what to do next. He says softly, "Go. I'll wait for you." I nod, still in shock, and walk slowly back toward the house. My father's face looks angry. My mother's face looks afraid. I feel a storm coming, but I know I can't hide anymore. My father says loudly, "Isabella, you will never see that man again." Question: what would you do if your heart says yes, but your family says no? My father's words hit me like cold water. You will never see that man again. Everyone in the room is quiet. Only the music plays softly in the background. I take a deep breath and look at my parents. My hands are shaking a little. I say, "Father, please listen. I know what you think, but you are wrong." He looks angry. "Wrong? You don't know that man. He has nothing." I answer calmly. Maybe he has no money, but he has something more important: honesty. My mother whispers, "Isabella, please, don't make this harder." I shake my head. I'm not making it harder. I'm making it true. Everyone looks at me like I am a stranger, but I feel stronger than before. For the first time, I'm not afraid of losing their approval. I say, I don't need a rich husband. I need someone who respects me. Then I turn around and walk toward the garden again. Daniel, or Alexander, is still there, waiting like he promised. When he sees me, he smiles, but his eyes look a little sad. He says quietly, "Did you tell them?" I nod. Yes, they don't understand, but I had to be honest. He smiles again and says, "That's what I liked about you from the beginning." I ask, "Will you stay? Or will you go back to your old life?" He looks up at the sky and says, "Maybe I can do both. Live with purpose." I take his hand. It feels warm, steady, real. I say softly, "Then let's both live with purpose and without fear." We walk away from the house together. The night feels quiet and free. For the first time in my life, I don't feel owned. I feel alive. The city lights shine in the distance, but I'm not thinking about money anymore. I'm thinking about truth, love, and the chance to start again. We stop near the park where we first met. The fountain still makes the same sound. He looks at me and says, "You found me when I was nobody." I smile and answer, "And you helped me find myself." He laughs softly. Maybe we both needed that. I nod. Yes, sometimes we must lose what's fake to find what's real. The wind feels light. My heart feels calm. I know this is just the beginning. Love is not about money or names. It's about truth, kindness, and freedom. Never be afraid to follow your heart. Real love doesn't need permission. It needs courage. Question: what does real love mean to you? Would you choose truth over comfort?